Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news. The buzz around the NFL, and especially among Bills fans, is heating up with some intriguing rumors that could have massive implications for the upcoming season. One of the biggest stories quietly gaining traction is a potential trade involving George Kittle, the star tight end of the San Francisco 49ers and the Buffalo Bills. Now I know what you're thinking. Talks of trades involving a player like Kittle might seem far-fetched at first glance, but the whispers are getting louder, and the implications could shake up not just the Bills' offense but the entire AFC landscape. Imagine Kittle in a Bills uniform. The moment I saw the initial reports, I couldn't help but picture how much he'd bring to the table. Buffalo's offense has been solid, but there's always room to elevate, especially when it comes to tight ends. Kittle, an elite-level tight end, has been one of the most consistent and physically imposing players at his position since entering the league. His ability to make tough catches, create mismatches, and block effectively, especially in the red zone, could be exactly what the Bills need to push their offense to the next level. And with the team's current situation, trading for Kittle isn't just a gamble. It's a strategic move that could pay huge dividends, particularly as Buffalo looks to contend for another Super Bowl run. Let's break down the specifics of what's being discussed. According to some reliable NFL insiders, like Jennings Rossini, the 49ers are open to trading Kittle. Their reasoning? Well, it's a mix of cap management and roster rebuild priorities. The 49ers are currently sitting on a cap hit of around $16 million for Kittle, and with their current record of 1-1, they're focusing on shoring up their pass rush and defensive line after allowing about 23 points per game. They're also trying to extend Brock Purdy and build on a roster that's aiming for a deep playoff push. Trading Kittle in this context makes sense. They're looking for draft capital, specifically a second-round pick in the 2026 draft, which they could use to bolster their future. Plus, their defense has been a bit leaky, giving up 23 points per contest, so reallocating cap space and picks towards a defensive rebuild is a strategic move. Now, for the Bills, this could be a game-changer. Buffalo's offense has been solid but not quite at the elite level where they need to be to really challenge the best in the AFC. The current tight end rotation has some questions, especially regarding Kincaid, who's been battling injuries and has a PFF grade of 72-0. Kittle, by contrast, is an all-pro caliber player with a career total of over 7,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. His stats for 2025 are quite impressive. Through September 15th, he's hauling in 12 receptions on 18 targets for 150 yards with an average of 5 yards per catch and 75 yards per game. He's also scored 2 touchdowns, and his career PFF grade sits at an elite 88.5. What makes Kittle such an exciting addition for the Bills is his physicality. He's a tank in the middle of the field, capable of creating mismatches against linebackers and safeties, and his route running and YAC, yards after catch, ability can really open up the offense. Furthermore, Kittle's profile indicates he's a player who can step in immediately and make a difference. His red zone efficiency, with a 70% touchdown rate, is exactly the kind of threat the Bills need when they're trying to punch it in close. His blocking grade of around 80.0 adds value beyond just his receiving ability. He's a true two-way tight end, capable of protecting Josh Allen and helping establish the running game when needed. The Bills have been searching for that kind of consistent, reliable weapon at tight end, especially with Kincaid still developing and coming back from injury. The logic behind such a trade for the Bills is clear. Buffalo, with a cap space of about $25 million, has been somewhat cautious about their tight end situation. Kincaid has shown promise but has been hampered by injuries, and the team is looking for an elite player who can take pressure off Allen, especially in critical moments. Adding Kittle would not only give them a proven playmaker, but also provide a veteran presence that can help elevate the entire offense. It's about maximizing their Super Bowl window, and a tight end like Kittle could be the missing piece, especially considering the offensive schemes that work so well with physical tight ends. Think of how Travis Kelce or George Kittle themselves have transformed their team's offensive dynamics. But what about the impact? Well, the potential move could be a real game changer for the Bills' offensive efficiency. In the current season, Buffalo's short passing game has been effective, but could greatly benefit from Kittle's physical route running and yards after catch. His presence on the field could boost the Bills' EPA, expected points added on short and middle routes, by as much as 18%. That's a significant increase, especially considering how Buffalo struggles at times to sustain drives and convert in the red zone. With Kittle on the field, the Bills could see their red zone efficiency jump from around 65% to close to 80%, making them one of the most feared offenses in the league in those critical situations. And let's not forget how Kittle's addition would help protect Allen. The Bills have allowed 10 sacks in just 2 games, which is concerning, especially given Allen's mobility and playmaking ability. Kittle's blocking skills are top-notch, and his physicality in protecting the quarterback could make a noticeable difference. Plus, his history of boosting other tight ends. Production is well documented. Remember how T.J. Hawkinson's presence on the Vikings in 2025 led to an extra 100 yards per game. Kittle's presence in Buffalo could have a similar effect, possibly adding around 700 yards and 8 touchdowns over the course of a season, especially when Kincaid isn't available or is being heavily double-teamed. Now, this trade isn't just about improving the offense. It could also have a significant impact on the Bills' playoff chances and Super Bowl odds. Current Super Bowl odds are around plus 1,200, but with the addition of a player like Kittle, those odds could improve to around plus 700. His blocking prowess, especially against blitz-heavy defenses like the Ravens, would be crucial in helping Buffalo stay balanced and protect Allen during high-pressure moments. Plus, Kittle's presence would be a key factor in their success in close games, especially in the playoffs, where red zone efficiency and protecting the quarterback are often the difference between winning and losing. The Bills have always been a team built around Allen's arm and their dynamic offense, but adding a player like Kittle would give them a new dimension. It's reminiscent of the impact that Rob Gronkowski had with Tom Brady, an elite tight end who can line up anywhere, create mismatches, and be a reliable target in crunch time. Buffalo's offense has been good, but the potential to have a player of Kittle's caliber, who can also serve as a safety valve on third down or a red zone nightmare, could be the piece that pushes them over the edge and into serious Super Bowl contention. Of course, as with any trade rumor, there are questions. Will the 49ers be willing to part with Kittle? They're in a rebuild mode, and their focus on cap space and draft picks suggests they're open to offers, especially if it means acquiring a second-round pick in 2026. The Bills, on the other hand, have the cap space and the motivation to make this move if it means improving their chances. The key will be negotiations, and whether the 49ers see Kittle as a player they can afford to move now, or if they want to hold on a little longer. Either way, the possibility of Kittle donning Bills' colors is a tantalizing prospect that could reshape the AFC East and make the Bills even more formidable. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could also influence the Bills' Super Bowl odds significantly. Currently, their odds are about plus 1,200, but if they manage to land Kittle, those could drop to around plus 700, reflecting their increased offensive firepower and overall team strength. His blocking and red zone skills would make Buffalo's offense one of the most dangerous in the league, capable of keeping up with teams like Kansas City or Cincinnati in a shootout. Plus, Kittle's presence would bolster their special teams and overall team chemistry, especially as they face tough division rivals and playoff opponents. And speaking of rivals, this move would send a clear message to the AFC. The Bills are serious about winning now. It's about stacking the deck, adding proven winners, and creating a roster that can dominate in crucial moments. The AFC East, which has been a tight division with the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots all making moves, would feel the ripple effect of such a trade. The Bills' offense would be even more explosive, and their defense, with added depth and focus, could become even more stingy. It's a bold move, but one that could define the Bills' season and their legacy in the league for years to come. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet. This is still speculation, and the trade deadline is always a wild ride. But if the rumors are true and the Bills do pull off this deal, fans should prepare for an exciting season, one where Buffalo can truly believe they have the firepower to contend for the Lombardi. This kind of upgrade at tight end isn't just about adding a player. It's about shifting the entire offensive dynamic, elevating the team's chances, and making a statement that the Bills are here to stay and to compete at the highest level. So what do you think, Bills fans? Would you be excited to see Kittle in a Bills uniform? Could this be the piece that puts them over the top? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear all your takes. And as always, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and deep dives into everything related to the Buffalo Bills. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep that Bills Mafia spirit alive.